Okay, beautiful. So there's papers, pass it around, and there's 10 copies, so that should be pretty much enough. Stam and astam. Okay. Shir, whatever. Okay. So continuing in Halacha Beis in the Rambam, after 4 shiurim in Gegumageg, Maisis, because he mentions it in the Halacha. Now it's and someone mentioned Pesach's coming up, so grad it's very negaya because today we're going to talk about Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, it's the Halacha in Rambam about Moshiach, and it's actually negaya to a minhag that we do, of course, by the Seders. He says, looking at Halacha Beis, the first line is really a hemshich to Halacha Aleph, but as we're going to touch upon, it's actually shaykhs to Halacha Beis also. He says, Amru Chachamim ein ben Olam hazel leMoshiach elishib Malchus Bolvad. He says there's no difference, that Rambam Shita, that Moshiach is about Shleimus HaTorah v'Mitzvah, the fulfillment of the Torah and the Mitzvahs, and the only difference between this and Yemei Mashiach is Pashat B'Gashmis, to give us that capability to be able to do that, the end of all subjugation and the continuation, and we live happily ever after when we get to keep all Taryag Mitzvahs B'Shleimusan. Continues the Rambam. What's relevant to today? Sagt der Rambam, Yeiro, Ami Pshutam Shal Divrei HaNeviim. It would appear from the Pashat Pshat of the words of the Neviim, Shebetchilas Yemois HaMoshiach Tiyeh Melchemes Gog uMagog. That in the beginning of Yemois HaMoshiach is going to be the war of Gog uMagog. V'shekoidem Melchemes Gog uMagog Yamid Navi LeYasher Yisrael Ulahachin Libam. And before the war of Gog uMagog, a Navi gets up who is here to straighten out the Jewish people and to prepare their hearts for what's going to come. Shenamar, a pasuk from the very last official Navi, Malachi, the last Navi of the Treyasar, of the Nevi'im, of the Tzkuf of the Nevi'im. And he says, Hini anechi shelech lechem es Eliyahu Hanavi. I'm sending to you Eliyahu in the end of days, the Goymer. Then the Rambam goes on, and this we're going to skim through because we're not going to focus on it today. It's a sugya b'fnei atzmai. What is Eliyahu Hanavi coming to do? So the Rambam says, "Einei ba loy l'tami u'l'thatar v'loy l'taratame v'loy l'fsal anoshim shem b'cheskas kashrus v'loy l'hachshem mishoch suku psulin." He's not here to tell people who's mamzedim, who's nishkim mamzedim, what's tahar, what's tameh. That's not what he's doing. He's here to bring shalom ba'ilam. Shember v'heishav levavi salbanim. Fine. So one shita is. That's one shita. That before Mashiach comes, Eliyahu is Hanavi is going to come. Okay, very good. What does it mean Tchilas Yemais HaMashiach? What does it mean Koydem Bias HaMashiach? Right? What exactly are these two shittas? So that's what I want to stop and discuss. But just that's to read one more line. V'chal elu hadvarim v'kayetzebem. All of these matters and anything similar to this. Lo yeda adam ech yiyu ad sheyu. No one knows how it will be until it will be. Shedvarim stumenheim eitzel hanevim. They're completely, they're very hidden by the Nevi'im. You can't, very obscure to understand punkt what it means, and so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll start from that point. Okay, so how would you teach pshat when it says that Tchilas Yemois HaMashiach? What's it mean, Tchilas Yemois HaMashiach? The beginning of Yemois HaMashiach is going to be Gog uMagog, and before Gog uMagog is Eliyahu Hanavi. How do you understand pshat? Does that mean after Mashiach came or before Mashiach came? When you say Tchilas Yemois HaMashiach, what are you trying to? What's Bias HaMashiach and what's Yemois HaMashiach? Is there a chilik? Between those two things? So. It's a ganze Maise. The thing is like this. The many Achroinim, if you read, they read it for Pashtus, the Chidah and some Sofer. They read it with the Pashtus. Yeah, one pshat is that Eliyahu Hanavi is coming after Mashiach comes. It says that the pasuk Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come before the great day of Hashem. Lifnei bo yom Hashem agadol v'anoida, the great, awesome, mighty day of Hashem. Eliyahu Hanavi is going to show up. So they say, it means before Melchemes Gog uMagog. Melchemes Gog uMagog happens after Mashiach comes. Mashiach first is going to be here, and then Melchemes Gog uMagog. And before that, it's nothing to do. That's the first pshat of the Rambam. Comes along the second pshat of the Rambam and says, no, before Mashiach comes, that's when Eliyahu Hanavi comes and says, and that. We're going to see in a second that Rebbe Bechlal doesn't learn pshat like that whatsoever. Both shittas are before Mashiach comes and klaros. But just to be in order, just so that we stay in order to understand what's happening, let's look at the actual pasuk, right? So Malachi is the very last Navi Alpi in Tanakh, I'm saying, of course, there's random Nevi'im throughout history, but B'chlalos. And he concludes his entire sefer, Zichru Teiras Moshe Avdi, remember the Torah of Moshe, my servant, Asher Tzivisi Oisi B'choidev, that I commanded him in Har Sinai and Choidev, Al Kol Yisrael Chukim U'Mishpatim. I gave him all the Chukim, the commandments. Continues the Navi Malachi, Hini Anoichi Shaleach Lechem Es Eliyahu Hanavi. Behold, I am sending to you Eliyahu Hanavi Lifnei Boy Yom Hashem Hagadol V'Hanoida. Before the day comes, or the coming of Hashem, Yom Hashem, the coming of the day of Hashem, the great and fearsome day. And what happens then when Eliyahu Hanavi comes? V'heishiv leiv aves al banim v'leiv banim al avesim. He'll return the hearts of fathers to their children, and the hearts of children to their fathers. Pen avei v'hikesi esadatz chedem. Lest I come and I'm going to smite the land to total destruction. Eliyahu Hanavi's here in order to make sure that the Yidden apparently do tshuva, in case when I arrive we're going to cause destruction. So Pashta Pshat had to read over here the Ravid in the Pirush HaMishnayos to the end of Edius, which is the whole sugya of this shaila of what Eliyahu Hanavi is coming to do. So he says, what's Pshat in the Psukim here? Zichru Teiras Moshe Avdi. It's saying that Zichru Teiras Moshe Avdi, that because if you're going to remember Teiras Moshe Avdi, remember we said Moshiach is totally on Teira mitzvahs. So it says remember to do Teira mitzvahs. Zichru Teiras Moshe Avdi, because if you're going to merit it, I'm going to send you Eliyahu Hanavi. And if you don't send it, the words pen avay is going back on the beginning. If you don't do tshuva, then we're just going to continue with all the destruction. Galus, it's referring to general Galus. It's not like when Hashem arrives, He's going to destroy everybody. It's saying pen lest, if you don't do tshuva, if you don't pay attention, if you don't remember the Torah of Moshe Rabbeinu, pen avivi kesi asadatz chedem, I'm going to destroy the land. So you have to keep the Torah in order that I should send Eliyahu Hanavi, who's going to bring Mashiach. In his words, right? V'im tizkiru, the words of the Ravid, loy avi lahakei asadatz chedem. I'm not going to come to destroy the land. Eshlach lechem b'yishia, v'rav le'yishia eschem be'evechem, amin b'mhedav yomenu. And He's going to send you Mashiach. Now, like in the end of on Tisha B'Av, we repeat the end of Eicha because it's a bad pasuk. You don't want to say a pasuk which is negative. This is actually one of the psukim in Tanakh, which also we don't finish with this pasuk. We go back to the previous pasuk. Whenever someone reads Tanakh, they have to go back and say Hini anechi shaleach lachem, because the end of the last pasuk over here is Pen avi v'hikesi asadatz chedem. I'm going to come and I'm going to destroy the land. Now the Rebbe has a diuk. Why does it change the lashon? It says when Eliyahu Hanavi comes, v'heishiv leiv aves al banim, is going to return the hearts of fathers to their sons. V'leiv banim al avaisam. You're changing your word. Either say v'heishiv leiv aves al banim, v'leiv banim al aves. It says v'heishiv leiv aves al banim, v'leiv banim al avaisam. Or say v'heishiv leiv aves al bneihem, v'leiv banim al avaisam. What's the shini halashon? So the Rebbe says that it says in Sifrei Musar, and the Metzayin on the bottom, the Shalach Kaddish. The Shalach Kaddish says that a father loves his children so much that he could take care of 10 sons. And the Rebbe's Moshe, he could do be'avu, be'taino, gadol, v'chulu. Right? He'll do with tremendous pleasure. But 10 sons can't take care of one father. No one knows what to do with the guy. And because the love is just not the same, the children can't experience the same love that parents have towards their children. Of course, we have that in halacha as well, the halacha of Baba Machteres, that if a father is digging to steal from his son, the son's not allowed to kill him, because, of course, the father, even if he's planning to be caught in the Geneva, he's not planning to kill his son. But the reverse is not true. If the son is trying to steal from his father, then the father could kill him, because min hastam, the son is prepared to kill his father. No, in the halacha, right? Because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So the Rebbe says that's why when it comes to returning the fathers to their children, fathers want to be returned to their children. If you return the children to their fathers, it has to be mois. I have to start being mois hasbara. It's doch dein tate. He raised you. All the hasbedim that it gives in the svarim about why you should respect your father, because he fed you and bathed you and took care of you as a baby and growing up, etc., etc. So that's alavesim. It's trying to bring out, trying to be madgish why you should return to your father. Now, the many of the Mefarshim over here in the Tanakh, the Radak, the Ben Ezra, they connect it with the beginning of the Perek, where the Perek mentions, and this is where we get the minig of Eliyahu Hanavi with a bris. It says in the beginning of Perek Gimel, which is the beginning of the Perek, Hineni Sheleach Malachi. The Eibusher says, after the Yidden say, "Where's the God of justice?" Aye Elikei HaMishpat. Where's the God of justice? Hashem says, Hineni Sheleach Malachi. I'm going to send my angel. Ufina derech lefana. He's going to clear the way for me. Upisaim Yavai El Heichalei. Suddenly he's going to arrive at his Heichal, at his chamber, at his palace, at his chamber. Ha'adein asher atem mevakshim. The master whom you are seeking. Umalach habris asher atem chafetzim. And the angel of the covenant that you were desiring, Hini ba amar Hashem tzvakes. So Rashi says this is all just going on the Eibusher, that you were going to ask, where's the God of justice? And Hashem says, in the end of days, I'm going to show you justice in the whole world. So I'm going to send you my malach to get rid of the Rishayim, and Hashem, the Adin is going on Hashem, the master, Hashem, malach habris is going, noikem nekam bris, that Hashem has a covenant of vengeance against those who fight against the Yidden and against him, etc. That's Rashi. But many other Mefarshim over here that are Adak, and it's ready from the Pikket Rebbe Lezer, they say that the first part is Taka going, the Eibusher says, I'm going to get rid of the Rishayim. Then, Upisaim Yavai El Heichalei, Ha'adain Asher Atem Mevakshim, the master is suddenly going to arrive at El Heichalei. That's going on Mashiach. The master's Mashiach is going to come. Umalach Habris Asher Atem Chafetzim. What's the Malach Habris going on? The Malach Habris, the angel of the covenant, that's going on Eliyahu Hanavi. The Eibusher says, I'm going to send you the Malach Habris. The minig, it says in Shulchan Aruch that we put a kisi shel Eliyahu by a bris. So the lashon in the Shulchan Aruch of the Tur, it says v'noyagen al pi medrash or Pirkei Rebbe Lezer. Last is kisi Eliyahu, because Eliyahu Hanavi told the Eibusher he had a lot of kina, he had a lot of zealousy, and he was zealous, and he says kanei kinesi l'Hashem ki avru bris chabeis Yisrael. Your house Israel has gone against your bris, your covenant. And in particular, the Medrash says he said that the northern kingdom had stopped doing bris milah. Right, the Malchus of Ephraim, the northern kingdom of Eretz Yisrael, stopped doing the bris milah. That's what he's referring to. Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is the quote of the Torah from the Medrash. The Eibusher told Eliyahu Hanavi, "Chayecha she'eino yisem bris milah ad shetira beinecha." They're not going to make a bris until you see it with your very own eyes. Mikan hiskinu chachamim lasis kisi Eliyahu shehu nikra malach habris. Says the Shulchan Aruch, Eliyahu Hanavi is called Malach Habris. My friends, where is Eliyahu Hanavi called Malach Habris? This pasuk that we just quoted. At the Eibusher, it gives a nevuah that at the end of days, I'm going to send you Umalach Habris Ashara Atem Chafetzin, the Malach Habris. In other words, these two psukim are synonymous. The last pasuk of this perek and the first pasuk of this perek, Malach Habris, sending you the Malach Habris, and so that's where that comes from. Fine. So now, Bechlal, this Indian, it's very interesting, because, we normally associate Eliyahu Hanavi showing up with, the Lamed Vavniks, all those Mises, and Eliyahu Hanavi, and Kilu. The word that Eliyahu Hanavi is passion of presence, and the Pasuk Alein says, the Pasuk, it's like a Davar Apar. Eliyahu, who's going to show up? Eliyahu Hanavi. He's the man showing up everywhere. So, of course, we know from everywhere in Gemara, v'chulu, that Eliyahu Hanavi is popping up everywhere. And Bepashtus, because he was alive, he never passed away. So he's walking around, he's meeting people, he's talking to people. And Bepashtus, even in the times of the Nevi'im, there's no reason to assume that Eliyahu Hanavi wasn't showing up in the times of the Nevi'im also. The Malachi lived 200 years after Eliyahu Hanavi, whenever Eliyahu Hanavi was showing up, he's saying Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come, and he's the one. And by the way, nowadays also, Menastam, there are people who have Gili Eliyahu. There's no reason to assume now. They've got the Lamvav Tzadikim v'chulu. Eliyahu Hanavi, he's the one, he never passed away. And he's the one who deals with this world, and Eliyahu Hanavi gate coming. He's going to be coming. The Gemara says, just to show the amount that Eliyahu Hanavi is involved in the world. Of course, we know that we have a ganze sefer called Tanat Eliyahu, Rabba, and Zutta. But the Gemara says that he taught in Kedushin. The Gemara says that he taught, or Ksubis. The Gemara says that he taught Rabbi Anan. He used to teach in Torah, and it's written down, and it's a ganze medrash. When you learn in Gemara, when it talks about Tanat Eliyahu, so it's actually a machlekes achreinim, whether between the Chida and the Be'er Shava, is it Taka going in Eliyahu Hanavi. Tanat Eliyahu, the academy, the yeshiva Eliyahu. I heard a sikha where the Rebbe said with the Pshitis, Yud Shvat Mem Zayin, the Rebbe said with the Pshitis that this is given a yeshiva, vu Eliyahu Hanavi had gelernt Talmidim. Azay Tanat Eliyahu. The Rebbe is referring to Tanat Eliyahu. So it must have been a very exclusive yeshiva. I doubt that there was a ganze yeshiva in Bavel with thousands of talmidim. That would be such a level of Gilui Elikus. I don't know. What do you mean?
Everyone there qualified for Gilui Eliyahu, or everyone was there, they didn't know?
Tanit Eliyahu, the yeshiva of Eliyahu had Galeta, and then we see it in Gemara, right? So the question is, who's Tanit Eliyahu? So the Rebbe said with the pshat is like the pshat of the Achrayim that Eliyahu Hanavi had the yeshiva, and he was teaching in other words, not only is there a medrash called Tanit Eliyahu, Rabbah and Zutta, which you could read, and it's nice, it's what he taught of Anan, but furthermore, he even had a yeshiva v'chulu v'chulu. Right, just to mention 2-3 places in Gemara where it talks about it, it's all over Shas. It's Mali V'Gadish. Eliyahu Hanavi showing up and doing, and he's hanging around. It's not a Maisa later on after the Gemara. We have stories of tzaddikim. It's a Maisa M'choyim in the Gemara, but and they're really some of them are even relevant to our conversation about the Geula B'chlal. There's a Gemara. Just take one place. The Gemara, a Lamdish Gemara that everyone learns in the yeshivas is Bav Mitzia. The Gemara over there, a shtickle famous Gemara also. It says Rabbi Baravua in Daf Kuf Yudalet. He met Eliyahu Hanavi. He saw him in the Beis HaKfaris of Goyim, a Goyish Beis HaKfaris. He saw him in the Beis HaKfaris. So he told him, he asked him against a Shaila Halacha. That's where it came in, because the sugi over there, the Shaila is if someone's a Baal Chayiv, they owe you money, do you leave them all their assets? Do you leave them a bed, and do you leave them, how much are you supposed to leave them? What's the Shaila? He saw Eliyahu Hanavi, this is the sugya, this is the kasha that he had for him, and they got into a discussion. Eliyahu Hanavi told him what the halach is, and they got into a conversation. And the Gemara, he told him, Omer le koyanata, how are you in the Beis HaKfaris? You're the Chakoyan. Eliyahu Hanavi is a koyan. How could you be in the Beis HaKfaris? And whatever, he basically told him that a goyim, a goyish Beis HaKfaris, goyim are only metame b'mag, not b'oil. Goyim only by touching a dead body. So therefore he's allowed to be in the goyish Beis HaKfaris, and so on and so forth. The Tosfos asked, if he was taka koyin, how do you find that he was metame to almana? You find the kid of the almana who passed away. Eliyahu Hanavi came in and saved the kid's life, right? He laid himself down. However, he brought the kid back to life. He did chiyas hamesim, but how could a koyin let himself become tamei? Frektaisas hakasha. So Taisa answers, it was barat in that he's going to be able to bring him back to life. He says, how is he allowed to do it? Because it was mutatim mitzad the din of pikuach nefesh. Pikuach nefesh is deicha hakel v'chulu. The truth is, though, it's very. That's why I said it's negate to Moshiach already. This thing, because it's very pelvic and vart to say that the fact that you're able to do tchias hamesim is pikuach nefesh, right? Every a tzaddik is the tzaddik geizer Kadosh Baruch Hu mekayim, right? A tzaddik should have to be meiser nefesh. He should just make gzeidas and force every time. A tzaddik could always be geyser, save lives, right? But then it's against the will of Hashem, and it's not lefi the gidrei ha'olam. It's not the way nature is set up, and it doesn't make sense what you're doing. And there's no gedra pikuach al pashut. You would say that it's not the case of pikuach nefesh. The famous Maimer of the Alter Rebbe printed in Meir Shadim, the Alter Rebbe b'chol beisi nemanu. What does it mean that about Moshe Rabbeinu that he's b'chol beisi nemanu, that everyone he's loyal to Hashem and the big tzaddikim, that they know for a fact that someone's going to their death, right? The Alter Rebbe describes. They know for a fact, they see Ruach HaKodesh, they know for a fact you're going to leave and you're going to drown in the river. So he says, a tzaddik, he keeps his mouth closed, he can't tell you anything. But he says, you know what he does? He starts being meramiz to you, not to go. He's going to go around in circles and circles. The Alter Rebbe says he'll do it forever. But if you don't listen, meaning not forever, he'll try his best. But if at the end of the day you don't chabzich, if at the gardener's zog, he's not going to tell you a word. He's not going to tell you a word because b'chol beisin amanu, the Eibishter trusts him and he's loyal to Hashem and he doesn't give away the secrets of the household. The chaydas, the pikuach nefesh. So you have to come up with a pshat, but Al Pi Pashut comes again that the nisim, there's different kinds of nisim, but everything in life is a nes, yeah. But the word is nisim. The Eibishter set up the world in such a way that he wants everything to run naturally. But things which no one knows is happening, right? Is doch not, or it's too small to even see. That's already not begeder of a nest. The Eibishter lets such a thing happen. Let me give you a dugma. I think it's a good dugma, which is that we know that up until 40 days you're allowed to daven whether your kid should be a male or a female from conception. You're allowed to daven up to 40 days, according to the Yerushalmi even later, whatever, because over there it's more gilui elikus. But according to Bavli, until 40 days, right? The gender is already decided from day one. How do I know? Not just scientifically, because it's negeya. Because it says Ish Mazriat Chila Yeledus Nekeva and Isha Mazriat Chila Yeledus Zocher. Right? So we know. So from the first second, it's already the gender is already set. What's pshat? You could change it. No, but then, since it's not nicker yet, since binyan it's maya ba'alma lashon hashat and lashon the word, it's like water. The fact is that it could be changed. The Eibusher has no problem with still changing it at that level because it's not nicker. It's not a recognizable change in the world. Right? This could all. So there's a lot of words like this. In other words, it's very clear, it seems, that in the olden days, Nisim were much more common also, b'chlal. Even 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Why? Because if for the people there it's Nishkin Nes, if by the day it's Nishkin Pele, if they're living in a world where by them it's a Davar Achi Pashut, they live with Malachim, they live with Eibishter, they live with... By them, there's no science, exactly. So then it's not begedded of a nes b'chlal. So this could happen, that could happen. When people are living in a very natural state, so for them, it's like anti-nes. The Eibusher doesn't make nisim, whatever. I'm just trying to bring out a word. We got a very, very sidetracked. Didn't mean to go there. But the bottom line is, Ken Zayin, that the kid, she didn't tell anyone that the kid had passed away. I think it's that Maisa, right? And she went running to Eliyahu Hanavi, and he shows up. And the Yishleimar, that it was quarantined enough that it wasn't begeder, meaning he's allowed, the Eibusher, if he knows he's able to do it, then for some reason it's in the geder of pikuach nefesh, and he had just passed away and whatever. And therefore, Eliyahu Hanavi felt that it was in a geder that it's not a totally crazy miracle that he's just doing tchias hamesim. He knows he's able to do tchias hamesim, but for some reason it had the geder of pikuach nefesh. B'chol the reason why it's negate to Moshiach is very interesting is because I think there's a word I read a very long time ago. I have never saw it inside. Is that Rabbi Mendel Krasnianski was making all these tainas why Moshiach could come on Shabbos and this and that, and one of his big word was pikuach nefesh deicha hakil. So Moshiach can come in because so many Yiddish lives have to be saved, and pikuach nefesh and whatnot. So it's a good shaila to ask, what's the geder of pikuach nefesh b'chlal to think about? Is it if Moshiach can make a nest and show up and do and save? Is that the geder of pikuach nefesh? Eliyahu Hanavi is able to do tchias hamesim, so it's pikuach nefesh. B'chol ofen. The Gemara that we're going to be discussing in the future, also very relevant, but it's also a case of Eliyahu Hanavi, is that Rabbi Yossi of Tzipaidi, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi saw Eliyahu Hanavi is sitting in front of the Maida of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, and he asked him, when is Mashiach coming? So he told him, ask Mashiach. You know the famous Maises. He went to Mashiach. What did Mashiach tell him? Mashiach was sitting in the doorway of Reimi. So he's sitting there. What did Mashiach tell him? Mashiach told him, Hayoim, I'm coming today. So he went back, and then he didn't come that day. So he told the next day, he told Eliyahu Hanavi that Shekuri Meshakibi, he lied to me. So he told him he didn't lie. He was quoting a pasuk. Hayoim and B'kailis Shmo. If you listen to the Eibishter, if you listen to the Torah mitzvahs, he's going to come that very day. Fine. By the way, just to quote one last Gemara about Eliyahu Hanavi showing up, which is mamish over there in Sanhedrin, the same Perek. It's Rabbi Yossi of Tzipaidi. He said about Eliyahu Hanavi, he said, Abba Eliyahu, our father Eliyahu, or it's a word of respect, Kapton Hoya. He was a captain because he got so angry at Achav for being a koifer, and he made a drought in the whole Eretz Yisrael for 3 years. And he says he was a captain. He was too harsh. So it says Eliyahu Hanavi stopped showing up to him for 3 days. He used to learn with him every day. He didn't show up for 3 days. So when he showed up, he told him, why didn't you come? He told him, you called me a captain. So he said, you just proved my point, he told him. You get so offended, I call you a captain, you don't show up for 3 days. Mamish the word that I was saying. Okay, so now, 5 more minutes. I want to get, okay. There's 1.5 million things to say. Let me get back to the original point that I was making. Basically, it's not clear when exactly Eliyahu Hanavi is coming. Let's focus on that point, then we'll conclude with that. When exactly is Eliyahu Hanavi coming is Nishklar. What state in Pasuk? What does it say in the Pasuk? Anyone remember? What did it say? L'fnei bo yoim Hashem hagodol v'haneda. Before the day of Hashem hagodol v'haneda, the great and awesome day. When is that day? So if you look in the Nevuos of that we were reading last week, or whenever last time we had the share of the Nevuos of Gog u'Magog, so the word by Yoim Hahu or by Yoim Hashem appears one time after the next. But the problem is it says it on so many different things, and it's hard to say there's one day when all this is happening. Does by Yoim Hahu mean a tkufah? By Yoim Hahu, just to say some dugmois, right? So Zechariah, the Nevuah of Zechariah, Gog Magog begins. Hine yoim bal Hashem. A day has come for Hashem. And it says, V'hoya yoim echad hu yivad, a day which is known to Hashem. And then later on it has, V'hoya bayoim hahu yetzu mayim chayim. You know, the Nevuah about the water is going to go forth from the Harabayas. Right? The Beis HaMikdash is going to have a river which is going to flow into the river, into the oceans. Right? And then there's the part which is the Chayre, at least Binya Beis HaMikdash. And then there's the Malchus of the Eibishter. B'haya Hashem lemelech hakol haaretz, and the same Nevuah of Zechariah. B'yoyim hahu yiyah, on that day, b'yoyim hahu. But then about the Muchamba, what's it say? B'haya b'yoyim hahu tiyeh mehumas Hashem rabba bahem. Hashem's going to have a tremendous confusion and the whole war of Gog and Magog. It's going on Gog and Magog, it's going on the Beis HaMikdash, is it going on the Melucha of Hashem? That's in Zechariah, in Yechezkel, when it talks about the war. On that day, it's going to go into your heart, to wage war against the Bnei Yisrael, against the Yidden. Let's see another pasuk over there. I'm going to bury the Goig and his troops in Eretz Yisrael. Here it's very interesting. There's one pasuk which seems to give you a little bit. It says in Yechezkel, "V'yadu Beis Yisrael ki ani Hashem Elokeim min hayom hahu v'hola." They're going to know that I'm their God from that day and on. Okay, fair enough. The clearest and most open pasuk is a pasuk in Yoel. In Yoel, it says in the nevuah about Gog and Magog, it says, "V'nasati moivsim hashamayim aretz dam va'esh v'simreis ashan." By the way, this is the makar that we say by the Haggadah, because if you remember the nevuah of Gog and Magog, we said it's going to rain down fire. We said they're going to have a civil, they're going to be fighting with each other, so that's blood. Va'esh. The simreis ashan means pillars of smoke, because when it rains fire and sulfur, it burns up the land, the earth, and it goes up like smoke. Pillars of smoke go up from the earth. The simreis ashan. And if you remember, we quoted also of Avnei al-Gavish. We quoted the Medrash that the same thing happened by Mitzrayim. Barad was the same vart. Right? The Eish of Barad is actually going to be the same Barad we're going to get in Gog and Magog. So that's why we say it in the Haggadah. Dam va'esh v'simreis ashan. But anyways, over there, how's it continue? It says, Hashemesh yahafich l'choshech. The Shemesh will come dark. V'hayarech l'dam. The moon will become bloody. That's why there's so many conspiracy theories about a blood moon. And he says, Lifnei, when will this happen? Lifnei boy yoim Hashem hagadol v'hanoida. Mamish the same words. But the question is, what's he going on? He's about to talk about Melchamas Gog and Magog. Is he talking about Gog and Magog, the great day of Hashem? Who knows? Because in Pasuk Yudches there it says, V'haya bayem ahu yitzfu harim asis. On that day, the rivers, the mountains will flow with wine. Umayan mibeis Hashem yetze, and a spring will flow forth from the mountain. So al kapanim, it's not clear, and the Rebbe Taka says it's not clear. These are the two pshatim in the Rambam. As Vos, what are the two pshatim in the Rambam? Is Azay. The way I would have learned pshat is the way the Achronim learned pshat. That's how I learned my whole life. After Mashiach, before Mashiach. B'chlal, it's nish pshat Azay. In other words, like this. The fact is, you're reading this nevuah of Gog and Magog. What did the Rambam say? From the Pashtus Haksuvim, from the simple psukim, what's a mashma? That in the beginning of the days of Mashiach, Gog and Magog happens, and before Gog and Magog is Eliyahu Hanavi. Okay, now why did I think that he meant after Mashiach came? Because if you read the nevuahs, the Yidden are already living in Eretz Yisrael. According to the Rambam, what's the last step of Mashiach? Mashiach Vadai? Kibbutz Goliath. The very last step, after the building of the Beis HaMikdash, after everything, Kibbutz Goliath. So the Chayre makes sense. The Rambam says, Al Pi Pashut, that Muhammad's Gog and Magog is after B'tchilas Yemais HaMashiach. And before that, Eliyahu Hanavi comes. And then he says, V'yesh ben HaChachamim. Some people say it's before Mashiach comes. But if you listen to the Sikh of the Rebbe, and the Rebbe I found, the Rebbe says this everywhere. The Rebbe says it in Tafshin Yud already, the Rebbe spoke about this. And then the Rebbe has a letter in Tafshin Dalet, and a letter in Tafshin Zayin, the Rebbe has Sikh in Tafshin Vav, and then the Rebbe repeated himself in Tafshin Mem Zayin in the Hadran on the Rambam. It's the Rebbe's Ashita. Basically, B'chlal not like that. The Rebbe basically says that Yemais HaMashiach is a long time before Bias HaMashiach. A long time before Bias HaMashiach. Yemais HaMashiach is the Kam Melech Mebeis David. Yemais HaMashiach is the days of Mashiach before Bias HaMashiach. And the Rebbe learns with a Pashtus that the Rambam learns with a Pashtus Haksuvin, that Gog and Magog is going to be before Bias HaMashiach. Because you have to realize, what was Bias HaMashiach? What did it entail for Mashiach to have been considered Mashiach B'chlal? You have to win the wars, right? You have to win the wars Yilchem mechames Hashem v'yinatzeach. You have to create that reality that there's no enemies of the Yidden b'chlal. It's the Rebbe even says in the Sikha that Gog Magog and their Noch is v'yinatzeach of Moshiach, and their Noch, you have the continuation according to the thing. Now, l'ch'eira, maybe you had Yinatzeach, but now Goyim are coming from far away. Whatever. It actually goes into all the shiurim we gave once about what is the Muhammad Taka of Yilchem Mechames Hashem of Mashiach. What's Taka? What's it mean? What do you have to accomplish? And the Rebbe's Medayik Misaviv. They have to make this whole surrounding area that the Yidden are mamish safe and secure. But maybe the Rebbe's Rai is also that if you look in the Nevuah of Yoel, where it talks about Gog Magog, it says Befedish, when it's describing all the nations coming to Eretz Yisrael, it says V'gam ma'atem li tzar v'tzidin. What are you to me? What is wrong with you? Why are you fighting with me? What cheshbon do you have against me? He says, you tzar and tzidoin v'chol galilois plushes, and the Philistines, the plushes, hagmul atem mishamli. Why are you paying me back? What did I do to you? Definitely these goyim, tzar, tzidoin, and plushes, these are definitely people who the Rambam says befedish that Mashiach has to clear, because the goyim who are mamish living around Eretz Yisrael and even in parts of Eretz Yisrael, Tzar and Sidon are really part of Eretz Yisrael, which is given to us by Hashem in the boundaries given to us in the Torah. So maybe it's pasha to the Rebbe that's what the Rambam means. But pasha saksuvim, of course, the Mechames Gog Magog is tchilas yemei Mashiach. In other words, before Bias HaMashiach. And it's also kedai to be mayor that we quoted from Yecheskel last time that all the Yidden, the very last and no Yid's going to be left in Golos. When did it say that? After Gog Magog. In other words, even though there are Yidden living in Eretz Yisrael, it never says every Yid is in Eretz Yisrael. And the Eibusha says, I'm going to make sure that no Yidden are left in the whole Eretz Yisrael after the whole Muhammad B'chal. So Kibbutz Goliath, the real Kibbutz Goliath of every Yid living in Eretz Yisrael also never happened yet. Meila, Api Pashat, Pasha Saksuvim, that's what the Rambam says. Pasha Saksuvim is what's the second shitta? Second shitta is a Gemara in Eidavim Mem Gimel. That's what it's miyusad on, which holds that Mamish the day before Bias HaMashiach is when Eliyahu Hanavi shows up. What is Bias HaMashiach? Bias HaMashiach, the Rebbe learns in a letter, and we're going to discuss it another time. Bias HaMashiach is what the Gemara says. In that day is Hakal Avodim Heim Li Yisrael. Bias HaMashiach is when after he's menatzeach the Mulchama, he's in Eretz Yisrael, he's menatzeach all the Mulchamas. And then he shows up to the Bezdin or to all of Klal Yisrael. But the bottom line is that's what it is. That's what that day is. Right? So the bottom line is, so does Eliyahu Hanavi come a day before, or Eliyahu Hanavi is coming before the war of Gog Magog? So the first pshat, if you look back in your Rambams, the first pshat of the Rambam is the B'tchilas Yemais HaMashiach is going to be Milchemes Gog Magog. And Koydem Milchemes Gog Magog, which is who knows how long, no one knows, is going to become Eliyahu Hanavi. The second pshat later on in the Rambam is, some people say, Koydem Bias HaMashiach Yav Eliyahu. Mamish, the day before, is when Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come. And to conclude with these final things is that there's one sikh of the Rebbe Mem Gimel, which I think is mistranslated, and this is where people want to say that the Rebbe says two different things in two different places. And I think it's nishrichtig, because the Rebbe has a shitta where he says it again and again and again and again, and you find one sikha where people are saying different, and I think that it's not true, because if you look at that sikha, it's a long, long sikha, it's built in Muga, it's in the bracha at the end of the sikha, which are always the hardest part to memorize. And here's what the Rebbe says, and b'chlal, the Rebbe already says that word, but differently than the way they're saying it. So I think that there's a mistake was made over here. What's pshat? The Rebbe says over there in that Fabring, at the end of the sikha of Achnei Shal Pesach Tashem Mem Gimel, the Rebbe said that we already said many times from the Rambam that it's not muchrich that before Mashiach comes, that Eliyahu Hanavi has to come before Mashiach comes, right? So in the Hanocha, what does it say in the Hanocha? It says, because the Rambam says, Tchilas Yemais HaMashiach, so in other words, after Mashiach comes, that's when Eliyahu Hanavi comes. That's what it says in the Sikha, the Bilti Muga. The Rebbe says that Eliyahu Hanavi doesn't have to come before, he can come after. The problem is, first of all, the problem is that B'chol Oifin, the Hanocha has to be fixed, because it definitely can't be, because how does the Rebbe go on to say? The Rebbe says that according to the Rambam, it comes out, the Rebbe says, that it's possible for Mashiach to come after Mashiach, after Eliyahu Hanavi to come after Mashiach comes. What do you mean it's possible? Possible? You just said that according to the Rambam, B'pashtus is going to come after Mashiach comes. Right? The Hanoch, the way they have it is that the Rebbe is saying that according to the Rambam, Tchilas Yemais HaMashiach is going to be Eliyahu Hanavi. That means Eliyahu Hanavi is coming after Mashiach. And the Rebbe says, therefore, it comes out that it's possible for Eliyahu Hanavi to come after Mashiach. What do you mean it's possible? You just said that Al Pi Pashut it's going to come after. Al Pi Pashtus it's going to come after. And also, how could the Rebbe change his mind after so many sikhs where the Rebbe learned? There's such a thing as changing your mind, Taki, in life. Like the Rebbe could say chazer boy, the Rebbe saying a different pshat. But first of all, what does the Rebbe mean? Kimeduber kamapamim. It's mamash not what the Rebbe said kamapamim. Second of all, the Rebbe said that al pi pashtus. The Rebbe learned pshat in the Rambam that al pi pashtus. The Rambam meant before Moshiach. And now al pi pashtus, it means after. How could the word pashtus change so drastically? You know, it's like the Gemara in Shabbos. The Gemara says you could say Asr and Chveist and Mutter. You can't say Asr and a mitzvah. The Gemara says it doesn't make any sense. How could you have two shittas which don't make? So the Rebbe to just change his mind like that is very schwer to sagen as a pshat. Therefore, I think the Rebbe means what he had written already earlier, where the Rebbe quoted a Kresi Uplesi, the Rebbe quoted a Itzer Bolum, a Ganze Meiser, where the Rebbe learns pshat in this very Rambam, that when the Rambam says that no one knows how it's going to be until it's going to be, the Rambam means to say that Eliyahu Hanavi could Bechlal come together with Moshiach Bechlal. That all of these inyanim are very nice, but they're nishne geya, they're not Yesodis, they're not Ikir, and no one knows exactly how it's going to be, and it could very well be Eliyahu Hanavi is going to come to Zama with Moshiach, as we're going to discuss more in the future. But the Rebbe is quoting that very Rambam, and the very word that he had already said more than once, and how do I know the Rebbe didn't change his mind? Because just today, on the train, I listened to a sikh of the Rebbe, Tashem Mem Zayin Yud Shvat, and the Rebbe said again the pshat that he said all the years. With a pshitas, not a pshat as a chiddush. So the Rebbe never changed his mind and said in Mem Gimel, Achnei Shel Pesach, a pshat under the pshat. Mele, according to both pshatim in the Rambam, Eliyahu Hanavi is definitely coming before Mashiach. L'chaim L'vrach Mashiach now.